so funny, Toby. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new live stream. Every Monday, noon Eastern time, we are here going live on Crypto Tips. My name is Heidi.
My name is Toby. And happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah, for those of you who celebrate this Hallmark holiday. And here's some helpful lines for you guys. If maybe you're a little non-committal on this Hallmark holiday, you might find these words to be helpful.
Yeah, if you want to say I love you without saying I love you, say, starving the state of its revenue and purpose by transferring these responsibilities over to decentralized institutions is the most feasible way to achieve free markets. Guys, she's going to fall in love with you if you say that.
However they respond to that question.
If that went out as good as I thought it would go. Well, anyways. So here we go. Something really interesting, really bullish, really quick before I get into the people and before I say hi. All right, so FTX president says we have hundreds of conversations with pension funds, family offices, which are like really wealthy people, large banks about Bitcoin and crypto. All of their employees are privately invested. Many are waiting for regulatory clarity to pull the trigger, which is so strange. It's like, just go ahead and do it. You know, if you're that rich and you understand how much the Fed is printing, just go ahead and buy some Bitcoin. Like, you don't have to wait. What do you have to have? Somebody to hold your hand? How did these people get so rich in the first place? By having somebody hold their hand?
Well, you know, crypto is for criminals.
Weird.
Hey, everyone in the live chat. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, saying hi.
Hello.
Archer Bullseye, thank you for letting everyone know to hit the like button and hit share with your friends. We have Olivia Apollo. Hi, hola, Olivia. 0102. Hope you're still here in the live chat. Okay, so we had a good question here from HVE. What's your play on interconnectivity, quant or atom? Both.
Yeah, both.
You don't have to choose. That's the
you
beauty
don't
of
you
it.
don't know which one is going to surpass the other.
Yeah.
So
we tend to invest in like
play the
buckets
game.
of cryptos.
Exactly.
We find
Baskets.
Baskets. Baskets, buckets, whatever.
Whatever.
In the different categories that they fall into, you don't know which one is going to win or be, the ultimate success. So hedge your bets, and once you do so accordingly, which if one does pop off, then great.
Yeah, this is a free market. So I get a lot of crap for like, hey, you're not a Bitcoin maximalist. I'm like, yeah, because I also believe in like there's other smart people out there creating amazing things as well. So why would I just subject myself to Bitcoin? I think it's amazing. I don't think anything's going to surpass Bitcoin in any way, shape, or form in the near term. But I'm still really interested in other projects. There's fascinating projects out there. And Bitcoin's doing just fine as well. So whatever.
Can you make sure your phone's on airplane mode?
It
just
is.
To make sure. Okay, cool. Another thing that we're always saying too is cryptocurrency is not a zero-sum game. For those of you who aren't familiar with game theory, zero-sum game, if it's not a zero-sum game, it means that for one cryptocurrency to succeed, it doesn't require another one to fail. There can be many different forms of success here. And so to be a maximalist for any coin, you're essentially saying like nothing else can possibly supersede this one because whatever reason you have such strongly held beliefs about a particular crypto, you have to recognize that as being very emotional in your investments and not necessarily being realistic in the different types of innovations that are happening everywhere in so many different facets of crypto. DeFi, NFTs, decentralized exchanges, interconnectivity, like HV asked about, privacy. All of these are going to be really huge and really important down the line. Maybe not so right now, fortunately for us, but they will.
I mean, they are as well. I mean, I think there's like as far as like speed and stuff. I mean, on the Lightning Network, I think it is. What's that? Jack Mahler.
Strike?
Yeah, Strike. Yeah. So he's, I think he's going to get about 50 different countries this year alone to take micropayments, essentially.
That was a partnership with Twitter, right?
Well,
Twitter?
okay. So Here, if I can find the article, go for it.
We had a question here from Shaq O'Neill. Thank you so much for your super chat. He says, I hold a big bag of Solana at average price of $165. I was hoping to hold for 4 years. Should I jump to a faster horse? And if so, which one?
I mean, jumping, like, what do you mean a faster horse? Do you mean like as far as like profit wise, or
Probably.
how fast the network is? I mean,
I
because
think he means investment wise.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen with it's just things go up and things go down, and
Trying to find the shortcut in investing in cryptocurrencies, you're gonna, especially if you're new and you're not totally tuned into, you know, the different threats, the different potential investment opportunities, you're going to make whatever investment. Like, for example, you're asking our opinion. If we were to say, oh, go for this coin now, that would be awfully irresponsible for us, because that leaves you relying on our opinion and not encouraging you to do your own research, as we would always encourage to do that. One thing that we are always speaking to is called dollar cost averaging. It's a really easy way to gain exposure to a position without having to go all in, making this decision of going all in from one, jumping to the next because you think there's going to be something else with a lot more potential.
I mean, so if you do want to play the game, which is fine, you know, go ahead and get some Solana. Like if I wanted to get more Solana and I wanted to expand from there, well, I would go ahead and maybe farm or something like that, farm some Solana on like Radium, and then go ahead and get a residual income from that, and then take some of that profit and put it towards maybe like AVAX or something else, or Matic, or you know, something that I think is going to do okay.
Yeah.
So that might be a really good play. And some of the APIs are crazy. And also, you know, get into some, I would definitely, if it was me, I would get into some Luna too. And then I would invest some USDT or UST on like Anchor Protocol and get like 19.5% API, which is really good. So, I mean, there's plenty of ways to make a residual income where you can spread your wings a little bit to pretty much hedge your bets. If one thing's not going to work, then the other. So for instance, I'll tell you this, like I've been in Ethereum since pretty much the beginning. And, you know, when I got airdropped Ethereum Classic, I kept Ethereum Classic because I didn't know where the network would head. I didn't know if the original chain was going to, you know, thrive. And it didn't really compared to Ethereum. You know, 9 out of 10 DeFi projects are on Ethereum. So on Ethereum, pretty much too. It's not the original chain. ETC, Ethereum Classic, is the original chain. So these things, it takes time to figure out which ones are going to survive, which ones are going to thrive. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I do every day. I look at like, okay, where is the space heading? How can I, you know, profit off this space? Because nobody knows everything in this space. I'm constantly learning every single day. So I have to keep on top of it. And then I can share with our CT Club, which is where we share our portfolio and everything, and our trade alerts.
We did have a question from Dax22 asked about portfolio update. It is coming. I do apologize. You guys had family visit who I haven't seen in about 2.5 years. So was happy to kind of push work to the side for that time. Portfolio is coming out today, probably most likely tomorrow. Within 24 hours, you'll get it for sure. Eden, I don't want to butcher your name. Hi, Heidi and Toby. Sorry for the off-topic question, but I was wondering if you guys have any promotion for the Patreon annual membership. Thank you from Canada. Because right now we're hosting our membership on Patreon, I don't have any wiggle room for like special offers or discount codes, but
we are.
I know that if you sign up for the annual membership, it is 15% off compared to if you're just going to do the month to month. But also we're building our own website to host our membership, and just to make the information a lot more easy to gain access to, facilitating the community and communication a lot better. It is in the works. It has been in the works for a while. We are getting closer every day. So very excited about that. And we will definitely be letting you know when that happens. And when that happens, we'll be able to accept crypto as a form of payment finally, and also do things like promotionals and discount codes and stuff like that.
I can't wait for that because
Amen.
Patreon is kind of limiting on that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we've outgrown that one already. So how did you guys like in the live chat? Let us know how you guys like that surfing video of Toby talking about Bitcoin. I loved editing that video. That was my favorite.
That was a very big day as well. That was about, it wasn't very big. It was like 40-foot faces. So 15 meters about. So yeah. Anyways,
let's talk about the topic of today, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you guys are in the live chat and you have a question for us, can you preface it by putting question in all caps so it catches our eye and we can make sure we see it? Or just tag me in your comment and it'll get my attention as well. So first, let's talk about Coinbase. Let's talk about what this thing is titled. Coinbase won the 2022 Super Bowl. The reason I titled that is because obviously the amount of people who use the QR code in the Coinbase ad during the Super Bowl was enough to crash the website. But not only that, their app went from 186th rank on the App Store to second.
That's pretty good.
That is epic. And actually, if you saw their ad, I mean, I don't know much about making advertisements for things like the Super Bowl, but it seemed pretty basic. And I think it was pretty polarizing, the people who loved it and the people who hated it. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, okay, so here's what even Edward Snowden talked about. Keep in mind, nobody's talking about FTX. Nobody's talking about all the other exchanges or
even
whatever.
though FTX had Larry David.
Oh, it was pretty funny.
It was a better commercial.
But I didn't like when I woke up and I saw all the tweets, I didn't see FTX on there. I saw Coinbase. Okay, Edward Snowden says Coinbase spending $16 million on a Super Bowl ad to direct people to their website and $0 to make sure that the website doesn't crash 10 seconds after the ad starts is very internet. So here's my thought. Maybe this is my conspiracy theory, but have you heard of the Streisand effect?
Yeah.
This is kind of what happened, like people are talking about Coinbase like no other. FTX put a bunch of money in there as well, but because their website was up and running, it didn't really get much attention afterwards. You know what I mean? Everybody and their mother's talking about Coinbase. Probably a lot of people that had no idea what Coinbase is. Oh, why is it crashing or whatever? Like, check it out. Oh, that's pretty cool. I can fiat on ramp. Okay, cool. I'm going to start using that. Genius. If that's what they did, then genius. They've done it. They've won the Super Bowl. That's it. They've won it. And like all these people that are bashing, including Edward Snowden, come on, buddy. Like, they're
good or bad. They're talking about it.
I think that just everybody got played, essentially. What a genius marketing strategy. If that's what happened, I don't know if that happened, but
yeah,
the people at Coinbase
are
pretty smart. So, and I'm pretty sure that they knew there was going to be a lot of onboarding. So yeah, I don't think that this just kind of happened by coincidence. But
yeah. Well, now we have a lot more people to tell about getting your coins actually off of the centralized exchange that is Coinbase once you've purchased them, and onto a hardware wallet or just a wallet that you yourself are in charge of to actually get legitimate ownership over those coins. There's a lot of people whose accounts are being flagged on Coinbase for no reason. They're unable to add, withdraw, trade anything for like 2 weeks at a time. I just had a Patreon member ask me about that. And I think that's par for the course for Coinbase. I mean, and other centralized exchanges. It's within their functionality to freeze accounts because it's centralized and they're the ones that actually control the coins, not you. You can't supersede their power because they're the ones with the private keys over the wallets that are storing the crypto that you bought there.
Exactly.
So maybe next year there's going to be a Ledger or a Trezor ad. That would be great. Or just, a nonprofit ad that's showing people how to make a paper wallet.
I think Ledger's doing a great job on advertising as well.
They usually do.
Yeah, they're great.
Okay, let's see. Some questions here real quick from Blackbeard. If all someone had to invest in crypto was 10 or 15,000, how should one go about it? Any passive income opportunities with a small amount of capital? Of course. There's aside from Ethereum and their fees, there's actually very little barriers of entry in terms of investment when it comes to passive income with crypto. Also, as I'm saying that, I know Polkadot actually has a pretty high limit if you actually want to earn from staking their coin. But there's very few instances where there's a minimum required to earn passive income with DeFi, with staking coins, on centralized finance like BlockFi, Nexo, for example, Celsius. What you're going to be earning from that might determine, if it's worth it for you. But I mean, 10 to 15K, I think that's a solid start for earning a passive income. Typically, it's 5 to 15%, I think, is a very conservative, safe way to earn a passive income and what you can expect to earn from that.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if you do UST on Anchor Protocol, you're getting 19.5%.
Yeah.
Now, who knows how long that is going to last for?
Yeah.
But I mean, might as well take advantage of it. 19.5%. That's a really good API,
Yeah.
That's better than a lot of coins are doing right now.
I'm also going to dig into the Thorchain announcement that you can stake or not stake. It's like lending your Bitcoin for 16%. And
Be careful.
And it is.
That.
Yes, I should wait. Don't do anything until you watch my video on it.
Yeah.
So you can get the full picture. Thorchain definitely had their risks. There was some bugs found in their code less than a year ago. And, the white hat hacker basically who had hacked them gave them the warning of don't move too fast. Don't promote this before it's actually solid code. Mm-hmm. So think of it as playing with your Bitcoin if you're going to be putting it there. But 16% is definitely attractive, especially when it's native Bitcoin and you can keep it within your custody. That's huge. That's the first platform that I'm seeing this actually capable to do.
I think you should do a separate video on that.
That is really just good. That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question here.
Yeah.
Let's see. I had it highlighted. Best way to recover after losing crypto by selling red. Thoughts? I'm learning I should have held.
I mean, it all depends like where you are financially. So say for instance, you bought at the top at 69,000. I get it. Like I bought near the top at 20,000 in 2017. And it hurt, but it didn't hurt too much because I was dollar cost averaging, and I was dollar cost averaging on the way up and on the way down. Mm-hmm. And do you think I'm complaining about that right now? I'm not. So what I tell my friends and I tell people that are acquaintances and whatnot is pretty much have a 5 to 10 year outlook. Like if you have a 5 to 10 year outlook, you're going to do way better than pretty much every single crypto trader on crypto Twitter or any trader on YouTube. I can guarantee that. Your dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, that most of the coins are actually being siphoned off and put into hardware wallets and cold storage, and you have institutions buying, you have sovereign nations declaring it as their currency, a second currency. Like, where this is heading. I even got there's another guy, another billionaire investor guy saying, hey, institutions are coming in. This just happened today. Institutions are coming in mass. And so there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin, guys. What are you going to you have to expect large prices in the future. So I got a question what do I expect that the price is going to be at the end of the year? I'm like, who knows? My focus isn't on the end of the year. My focus is on having my audience become filthy rich off of a longer term investment within 5 to 10 years. If you have 5 to 10 years, you're set. If you have less than 5 years, you're still going to do all right, because look at what the U.S. has done. They printed 40% of all currency that has ever existed over the past 11 months. And so, they're not even close to stopping. The Fed had an emergency meeting or a closed meeting today. Yeah,
an unplanned meeting.
This is all planned. All planned. So when they say it's not planned,
the article said it wasn't planned.
Yeah, the article said it's not planned. It's definitely planned. And they definitely are trying to wean the world away from a US dollar currency into a CBDC, which is a central bank digital currency, because there's much more control. There's no more like loss of the tax base, even though they can print as much currency as they want. They want people paying taxes. They want to increase taxes like crazy. Just look at what's happening in California. This is one of the reasons why we left. One of the reasons why I left California, moved to Florida, then renounced altogether, because I knew exactly what the U.S. was going to do. Yeah. And so, anyways, I can go on and on about that. I wouldn't worry about it.
Go on and on, because we have Brad here saying Mondays is for ranting.
Oh, is it?
But I'm going to read the last paragraph of this article.
What's up, Brad?
It's titled, Here's How Bitcoin Could Win from Federal Reserve Closed Meeting. Basically, they're saying the sooner they can raise that, hike that rate, the better it is for crypto, because the longer they kick it down the can, the worse the destruction is going to be. Here it says, the least likely scenario is if the Federal Reserve decides to leave the key rate as it is. That's the least likely scenario.
Really? The least likely? Okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
You want me to talk about that?
I teed you up.
The least likely, right? So if they raise interest rates 0.25, 0.5 basis points, is that really raising interest rates? Is that really going to do anything? The answer is no.
Well, they're saying now that the inflation numbers have gone public, like they have to do something.
What are they going to do? Raise interest rates and collapse the entire currency?
Yeah. That's what that article is saying. They got to do it.
It's not going to happen, guys.
They can't kick that can down the road anymore.
It's not going to happen. This is the end of the road. Now, keep in mind, end of the road in Roman times, it took a while for the currency to collapse. The denarius back then, first they started out with almost pure silver denarius, and then the kings would steal some of the silver out of their currency, and then they would collect all that currency so they can fund more wars. And eventually the citizens were left with like kind of like nothing, like a bronze or whatever, zinc and whatnot, like just cheap metal, So this is kind of it's very similar to what's happening in the U.S., So after 1971, the Nixon took the U.S. off the gold standard. And so if you look at the dollar price, it's been declining ever since. Like I think it's declined like 70 or 80% from that time. 100 years ago, it collapsed 98% or 99%. And just recently, over the last year, the dollar collapsed literally 38 to 40%. Now that's monetary inflation. This isn't CPI inflation, consumer price index inflation, which is 7.5%, which the Fed likes to talk about. Real inflation is, look at lumber. It was up 124, 126% last year. Look at steel, 165% last year. Oil was up 20%. And keep in mind, these are things that people need to live off of. The CPI doesn't include food or energy. It just includes, like, if you want to live in your mother's basement and eat peanuts and popcorn all day, and
the people who said those are pretty out of touch,
and watch Netflix all day. Yeah, your CPI is that's inflation for you. But if you're actually a working person, then CPI is is a complete lie. I call it the CP lie. So like these guys are crazy. So expect that currency to be printed into oblivion, like you've never seen before. This is just a way to distract people from what's really happening. And so that's why I say Bitcoin is the safest bet, because you can transfer money anywhere in the world for practically free, any amount, without any government permission, at the speed of light, and there's no KYC, AML, nothing. I mean, you can't beat that. And it's inelastic. So you don't have a supply, a huge supply coming on the market like you can with gold or whatever, or US dollars,
Oh, they love to do that.
Yeah, they definitely do that. So,
question here from, and we asked for it, so thank you. Anirban G asked, is connecting external wallets like Solflare, Uroi, NNS through Ledger safe, i.e. the ones mentioned on the Ledger official website? Yes, as long as you are using the legitimate link to that website and it's not a scammy site, as long as you are double triple checking that the address displayed on your physical hardware wallet ledger device is matching what you're seeing on the screen being displayed. There's been a few where, with MetaMask, people downloaded a scammy version of MetaMask and they weren't checking what was being displayed on their device to where the coins were actually going, and they were sending it to a different wallet. They're safe because you have to confirm the actual transaction with the buttons on the physical device. So it's not like people can hack it. They still need to, you have that physicality of the device. That is the security there.
Yeah.
Question here from Carl. Thank you so much for the super chat, Carl. Hi, Toby. Heidi. Which metaverse projects would you invest in during a downturn or bear market for long-term gains once that space matures?
Wow, that's a really good question.
It's hard to say before it matures, right?
I think it's good. We'll be able to see what metaverse projects are strongest during a bear market.
Which ones are still building?
Yeah, which ones are still building and which ones are really active as well and the community has to be incredibly active as well. So that's really important. So like I'm looking at maybe MetaHero,
Decentralized.
Yeah,
maybe?
Decentralized, Sandbox. Mana's pretty good, but I really like MetaHero and like I forgot the one built on top of it. I forgot what it's called. It starts with an E. I did not get into it. I blew it on that. My friend's like, you didn't get into it. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. It was up 50x the next freaking week or whatever. So, but anyways, yeah, there's a lot of metaverse projects that are going to be coming out as well.
Yeah, definitely.
PYR could be a really good one.
Speaking of Meta had a ad in the Super Bowl too. So the metaverse is
it's not going away.
Becoming more familiar to the masses.
Yeah. Definitely.
Patrick Young, what's up, guys? Happy V-Day. Don't buy an $8 card for your loved one. Buy crypto, the gift that keeps on giving. Yes.
And save that $8.
They might not like it now, but if they keep it, they're probably going to appreciate that gift sooner rather than later.
About $8 might be your gas fee.
Yeah. Someone also said Coinbase paid like $136 million to crash their own site. I thought that was funny. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Just trying to get through your questions here. Oh, my goodness. Coinbase froze my account for over a year now. They suck. That sucks.
Coinbase. I use
get
Coinbase.
It off there
get
if you
the
can.
heck off Coinbase.
Yeah. Usually they do it basically holding your coins for ransom for more KYC information. If you can't or don't want to, they're going to keep your coins because you signed that agreement when you launched your account there. Maybe a couple more questions here. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I had a question here from Nick. He said, do you think future halving will still have impact on price action much since now the block rewards are smaller? Good question.
I do.
Yeah. You think it's going to taper off?
No. I think
it's still going to play
it'll still play a big role because it's decreasing the amount of emission. So how is that not?
Yeah, but it's a decreasing emission. So like the sell pressure on the market isn't going to be as prevalent, or the lack thereof.
I think it's very bullish that every halving is going to be very bullish, regardless, because emission is really important in with Bitcoin, and it determines inflation, and it also, it's just like the law of diminishing returns. Anything that has a high demand and has a higher law of diminishing returns is going to go up. It's this natural physics.
I'm wondering if it's going to be less volatile.
I think that Bitcoin is going to be less volatile in the future
because it went from 100 to 50 to 25. Those are pretty big gaps. Now we're at 12.5, 6.25.
Sure.
3.
Sure, but there's also less Bitcoin as well on the markets.
Yeah. So maybe like the institutional investors are the next like supply crunch for Bitcoin when they buy all those chunks that are
And the family offices and
like
sovereign
Michael
nations.
Saylor is the new halving event every time he dollar cost averages.
Yeah, exactly.
Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ says, question, I bought Bitcoin 1 year ago on Coinbase and put it on my Nano X and haven't touched it. When I went to liquidate it, can I put it on another exchange to liquidate it? Of course. Depending on the country that you live in, depending on the country if it's a centralized exchange, that exchange has jurisdictions within, they might ask you to prove the history of your coins, basically, that you're not money laundering, and that in particular is a pretty easy little trail you can prove. It's just like print out the CV of Coinbase and send it to that exchange if you want to.
Yeah.
Let's see.
A lot of people are asking about the sell pressure right now with Bitcoin, and I don't think there's much to worry about. A lot of people are saying, hey, Bitcoin's probably going to go to 20K, 10 or 14K or whatever. Even there's a big guy that I've listened to. I don't listen to too many people like as far as YouTubers, but Bob Lucas is one. He's a good guy. He gives you kind of like an idea of what the market could possibly do, and he's saying, if he took like a third of his profits of his Bitcoin off the table last week, I think. So I'm like, that's interesting. Like, why would he do that? And I guess, other people have different convictions. Like for me, the reason why I'm in Bitcoin is because, I do feel safe with holding Bitcoin. I don't feel safe with holding currency in US dollars just because I understand how much currency they're printing. And I know that they're not going to stop printing. So with other people, they're scared to hold something that's volatile. But anything in the wild is volatile. You know what I mean? So anything that's not dead is volatile. And I want to hold something that is volatile, that is making me, 3x every couple of years or whatever. That's great. I want that, something to keep up with inflation. So that's why I'm holding it. And, people can give me crap for it, whatever. But like, that's why I'm not going to sell most of my Bitcoin if it goes to 100K or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no price point where I'm going to sell most of my Bitcoin. So I'm just not going to do it. So that's just my conviction, and other people have theirs, So right now at near $39,000 or 41,000 or whatever, like, this is a steal in my opinion. Like, just look at all the Bitcoin that's being sucked off the market. I don't know. It's like, if we go to 30, who cares? I don't care. If we spend the rest of the year in this range, I don't care. I have 5 to 10 year outlook, so it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that should wrap it up for this live stream. How do you feel about that, Toby?
Yeah, well, actually, I want to say one thing about with what's happening with Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
So the last time this happened, the S&P rose. So this isn't the first time, guys. This isn't the first time Russia and Ukraine had their little scuffle. This has happened before, and the S&P did amazing. So usually this stuff doesn't hurt the markets for very long. If it does, it may maybe go down for a little bit, but for the long run, like, this isn't a big deal. Like, and plus, I think this is all BS. That's my personal opinion, just from what I see, what I understand with governments and stuff. I think this is all BS, and I don't think they're going to do much. And I should probably leave it at that, because I go on and on about that. Anyways, I think they're all fluff. They're all talk, and they're crushing the markets, and they'll be buying back as well. So that's why I'm a buyer. Okay? All right. Guys, thank you. Please like, subscribe. Check us out on our CT Club if you haven't already. The link is down below. Yeah. Anyways, stay disobedient.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Love you guys.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool.
It doesn't stop until you hit end.